This is 49-year-old Arthur Booth, who is facing burglary charges. Booth was arrested in Hialeah, Florida, after he was spotted leaving a burglary scene. During a bond hearing, Arthur Booth appeared before Judge Glazer to plead his case. He's being charged with burglary, grand theft, fleeing the police, and resisting arrest. After explaining the details of his bond, the judge noticed that Booth's face looked familiar.
F15-13303. Okay, Mr. Booth, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Judge Glazer and Arthur Booth attended the same middle school. It was an emotional moment in the courtroom as the judge went on to say more about the man in his dock.
This is the nicest kid in middle school.
Oh my goodness.
He was the best kid in middle school. I used to play football with him, all the kids, and look what has happened. I am so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Booth, I hope you were able to change your ways. Good luck to you.
Oh my goodness.
What's sad is how old we've become.
Oh my goodness.
Good luck to you, sir. I hope you were able to come out of this okay and just lead a lawful life.
After the brief reunion, the judge set Booth's bond at $43,000. The courtroom footage went viral, making it one of the most viewed courtroom moments.
Take care of your family, try and get a job, stay clean. You're going to do something good for somebody else. That's what you got to do.
But something unexpected happened. 9 years later, Arthur Booth was once again in Judge Glazer's chamber on a string of burglary charges. In one incident, Booth was accused of snatching a woman's Gucci chain from her neck. In other instances, Booth would pose as a maintenance worker to get into people's homes, rob them, and flee the scene. When appearing before his middle school judge classmate, Arthur Booth was so ashamed to look at his old friend.
Do you like this? Anyway, I can't hear your case. I'm going to get another judge to hear it, okay? So if you have a seat, somebody else will be here. Hope things work out for you better.
This was not the only time a convict cried bitterly during their sentencing. This is Alan Miller McCaddy, who is facing charges for making a death threat to a judge. Alan McCaddy called Volusia County Dispatch on September 29, 2017, to threaten Circuit Judge Stacia Warren, who ruled against him in a child custody dispute. Alan stated on the call that he had a gun pointed at the judge's building and threatened the judge would die for sabotaging people's cases.
Communications, Warhurst.
Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen.
What do you mean a crime that's about to happen?
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
Sir, what is going on?
Who the you calling, sir, you stupid? Where's your Judge Warren at? You going to bring that out in handcuffs and I'm going to execute that son of a right in the street. I'm letting you know I'm going to shoot this. You gonna give me my kids.
Where are you at, sir?
I just told you I'm outside of her building waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm going to pop tapping that you stupid.
Following this 911 call, analysts in the Volusia County Crime Center determined the audio matched the previous recordings of Alan's voice. The Santa Rosa Sheriff's deputies arrested Alan and booked him into the Milton jail. However, Alan's arbitrary behavior continued towards the judge in his court appearances.
Number one, I need to know whether or not you want to be here during the trial process.
No.
All right. Do you want to testify though?
No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully. Y'all are you ain't allowing my evidence. You ain't allowing my people. My daddy owns the building and I look like a idiot, huh? Brought your dress today, you little prick. You want to take my kids from me and act like that? You in that? You lie over me? Is that what you're going to do?
No.
Well, then do it again. Come on. Shut the up. I'm trying to think over here.
This disruptive behavior made the judge presiding over the case, Matt Foxman, order him to be removed from the courtroom. The court found Alan guilty of threatening to kill a judge and a pair of dispatchers. Then moving on to the sentence, Alan displayed his usual erratic scene in the court.
Threatened the
unborn child of the prosecutor directly in an open
What a
court.
bunch of guys, you stupid piece of
Then also
You threatened my life, you
in the
you
back room.
suck my
Even while being dragged to the back room, Alan continued with his threats.
No, I'm not standing up.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting, I'm just not
Stand
standing.
up.
I'm not standing. I don't have to stand. I hope you fall on that baby's head, you stupid never threaten that bitch. Bring play back the shit, you stupid mother.
The judge tried to continue with the hearing, but Alan didn't relent with his disturbance.
Get out! Get the out of here! Don't you pull on me! Get out! I'll get up, you mother. Don't be around! I'll get here. What you gonna do? You wanna hit me? Don't get
The judge sentenced Alan to 20 years in prison and also issued an additional 10-day sentence for Alan's disruptive behavior in court. If you think threatening a judge is the wildest drama that can happen in a courtroom, wait till you see this next criminal who attacked her own attorney.
You went off on your attorney, Taylor. You went crazy on your attorney.
This is Taylor Shabazinas, who is facing charges of murdering her lover, Shad Therian. Shabazinas strangled her lover to death during intercourse after they were both intoxicated with methamphetamine and prescription drugs. Shabazinas continued to have sex with Therian's body before dismembering and removing his internal organs. The Wisconsin woman confessed and admitted to committing the crime during an interrogation with the cops.
I grinded on him, I put the in his ass.
You grinding on?
Yeah, I listened.
Did you ever put his piece in your vagina? Okay, you just grind on her? So when did you start, cutting up his body?
Like almost right away, I was sucking and cutting at the same time.
Even though Shabazinas didn't seem to be remorseful about her actions, the incident left Therian's family in an emotional state. Therian's uncle, Kelly Therian, had a word of prayer to say to his nephew's murderer in the court.
If you take the path to go get the help, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. None of us would be in this situation. But to take the cowardly path that you did and to make other people suffer because you were suffering is pretty shitty.
During a court hearing on February 14, 2023, Shabazinas suddenly attacked her attorney, Quinn Jolly, right in front of the judge and everyone else present.
Rachel, call. Going off on your attorney, Taylor. Going crazy on your attorney. Taylor, can you walk?
Jolly reacted quickly to defend himself from Shabazinas' violent outburst before the sheriff's officer tackled her. Jolly told Judge Walsh he planned to file a motion to be removed from the case.
At this point, I'm going to put a motion in to withdraw from this matter.
On September 26, Judge Walsh sentenced Shabazinas to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. While Shabazinas' reaction might be out of anger in the court, the next convict had his reaction planned before attending the trial.
You just gave him 4 years. Well, guess what? Sir,
This is 46-year-old Ricky Hand, who is currently facing charges for multiple armed robberies. Ricky has been robbing different shops and convenience stores in Ohio, and he managed to escape with cash and some items. However, his attempt to rob John's drive-thru didn't end up as usual. He received an instant retaliation he didn't anticipate as the shop owner shot at him before he managed to escape the scene. After the robbery attempt, the shop owner called the police to inform them of the attempted robbery.
911 emergency.
Yeah, this is John's drive-thru, West Main Street. A guy just tried to rob me and I shot him. He ran out the back door.
Okay, is he injured?
I think I hit him.
Within a couple of days, Ricky visited the hospital to treat himself for the bullet wound from the failed robbery. And it was at the hospital that he got arrested. Ricky Hand admitted to several business break-ins with a knife and a gun. Although the gun was later determined to be fake, the threat to victims was still there.
I did try to rob John Stryker. He got shot 3 times. I did the crime, I ain't gonna lie. I just wanted to live.
There have been probably a half a dozen or more robberies. Now you're looking at John's, you're looking at this break-in to this beauty salon.
That's all I've done.
The beauty salon's a bonus because I didn't even know anything about that, and you told me that.
I'm going to prison for a long time.
Well, you know that.
Ricky, who has been cooperative with the cops during the investigation, took a total turn in reaction after the judge read his sentence.
Did you just give me 40 years, sir? Yes.
After hearing he would be spending 40 years in jail, Hand reached for a bottle of his own feces and bodily fluids hidden in an arm sling he was wearing and swung it at his lawyer in court. Within seconds of the outburst, courtroom officials were able to subdue Hand.
You can't play Jesus and God? What's wrong with you? Man, 40 is a death sentence, man. Yeah, man.
Ricky faced a new set of charges for his erratic reaction in the courtroom. The charges included harassment with bodily substance, 1 for his attorney and 4 deputies. He was also charged with obstructing official business and retaliation. Not all convicts can control themselves after hearing their punishment, but legal personnel are expected to control their emotions when they are in this position. But that is not the case for this ex-judge. This is Tracy Hunter, who is facing charges for unlawful interest in a public contract. Tracy had used her position as a judge to help her brother, Stephen Hunter, to keep his job. She allegedly gave Stephen, who is a corrections officer, a document he wasn't permitted to have for his use in a disciplinary hearing. As a result of this act, the ex-judge lost her job and her law license and was sentenced to 6 months in jail. Tracy's supporters believe the punishment was too extreme, especially for someone who had a positive impact on society. Through several appeals, Hunter managed to delay her sentencing for over 6 years, and yet again her attorney, David Singleton, requested that the judge delay the sentence.
She's lost peace of mind, not knowing when that day was going to come and she'd have to go to jail. That's a lot for one person to have on her shoulders.
Judge Patrick Dinkelacker heard the lawyer's request while everyone anxiously awaited the judge's decision. Judge Patrick read out the sentence that will soon spark unexpected reactions in the courtroom.
The attempt was to intimidate me in any way. That has flat out failed, okay? I will never, ever, ever bow to that type of pressure, veiled threats, vicious comments, lies about me or anything else. Number 1, you pay the cost of these proceedings. Number 2, you are to not violate any laws. And number 3, you are to do 6 months in the Hamilton County Justice Center, credit 1 day. Mr. or Ms. Deputy can take her away.
Tracy's supporters burst out in rage, and some even made attempts to approach before the deputies stopped them. The deputies tried to take Hunter away, but she seemed to resist while her supporters shouted, "No justice," from the gallery. Disregarding the outrage from Hunter's supporters, the ex-judge was dragged out of the court to begin her 6 months at Hamilton Justice Center, but she only served under 3 months. This is due to her participation in a court-authorized work detail.
While shouts of "no justice" are heard from the gallery, she's literally dragged out of the courtroom.
Tracy Hunter needed a crowd to cause an uproar. This next criminal set the court on fire with his closing statement.
I did kill Kenyatta Band. If you think I'm here to play around wrong with y'all? God damn now.
This is 29-year-old Ronnie O'Neill, who is currently facing charges for murdering his ex-girlfriend. On March 28, 2019, Ronnie gruesomely murdered the mother of his 2 children, Kenyatta Barron, and hacked their 9-year-old daughter, Ron Nevaeh, with an axe. He also stabbed their 8-year-old boy, who barely survived the attack and lived to testify against his father. During this incident, Kenyatta managed to dial 911 to report to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. During the call, Ronnie's voice could be heard in the background. About 8 minutes after the 911 call, the sheriff's office got another call from Ronnie claiming Kenyatta had attempted to kill him, and he killed her in self-defense.
Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons inside Kiki. Kiki, her name is Kiki, and she tried to kill me.
Ronnie gave his address to the cops, who arrived at the scene and found Kenyatta's lifeless body in the yard.
Deputies also tell us they found a man named Ronnie O'Neill III inside the home, smelling like gasoline. They had to use a taser to take him down.
During the court trial, O'Neill spoke to the jury in anger and yelled as he spoke to them.
He talked about Mr. Khalil Brown, my neighbor who stayed across the street. But if Mr. Khalil Brown was a help to them proving me guilty beyond reasonable doubt, they would have called Mr. Khalil Brown. But I called Mr. Khalil Brown to be a witness for me. And I didn't ask him to lie about one thing that he saw that night. I asked him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen. And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it.
O'Neill decided to represent himself throughout the trial and even argued against his own son, who claimed his father stabbed him and tried to burn him.
I just saw my dad holding a shotgun and my mom, and mom screaming at him.
Did he do something to your sister?
Yes, he hit her with an axe. And then he went in the garage, I followed him. He put me on the ground, and then he had his foot on top. I was laying on my stomach, he had his foot on top of me, and he was holding me down, and he was lighting a match.
Mr. O'Neill, any questions?
How you doing, Ronnie?
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
Judge Michelle Cisco said she would be haunted for the rest of her life by the evidence in the double murder case.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. You name it, I've seen it. This is the worst case I have ever seen. For the rest of my life, I'll be haunted by what I saw as far as the evidence.
She sentenced Ronnie to 3 life imprisonment with no possibility of parole.
On count 1, Mr. O'Neill, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison with a minimum mandatory of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
After the sentence, Ronnie gave his closing arguments, which later turned into a courtroom outburst.
I did kill Kenyatta Bennett.
The teenagers in the next case had different reactions during the trial. This is Sierra Halseth and Aaron Guerrero, currently facing charges for murder and first-degree arson. The Lovebirds murdered Sierra's father after forbidding them from seeing each other. In April 2021, 16-year-old Sierra and 18-year-old Aaron stabbed Daniel Halseth 70 times in his home. Sierra and her boyfriend also dismembered her father's body and burned his home with the claims that he maltreated her. 3 days after the murder, the teens made a video and posted it on the internet.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After
Day
murdering, day 3 after murdering somebody.
Whoa! Don't put that on the camera.
It was worth it.
And we had sex a lot today.
It was worth it. I got plenty of sex. So I was payment for doing it.
And no bleeding this time. We got through that. We overcame.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shortly after making the video, the police officer captured Sierra and Aaron in Salt Lake City, and they were charged to court. During the trial, Daniel's mother was still in surprise and a devastated state due to the vicious murder of her son by her granddaughter.
Where did the evil come that was bred into a soul that murders their own father?
You're in a tough spot because your son is the victim and the killer is your granddaughter. Can you talk about that?
She's not my granddaughter.
At the sentencing, Sierra showed no sign of remorse and refused to take responsibility for her actions.
He locks me in place and starts pushing me and hitting me around.
Aaron, on the other hand, had a different request in his statement.
I ask for forgiveness as I get sentenced today, and I hope it brings you a little peace.
After hearing from the witnesses and the defendants, the judge proceeded with the sentence.
On count 1, you're going to be sentenced to 48 to 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. On count 2, you're going to be sentenced to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 20 years has been served, plus a consecutive 24 to 60 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections for a deadly weapon enhancement. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 1. On count 3, you're going to be sentenced to 72 to 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 2. Count 4, you're going to be sentenced to 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 3. Count 5, you're going to be sentenced to 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 4. Count 6, you're going to be sentenced to 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 5. Count 7, you're going to be sentenced to 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 6. Count 8, you're going to be sentenced to 28 to 72 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 7. Count 9, you're going to be sentenced to 72 to 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections, plus a consecutive 72 to 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections with deadly weapon enhancement. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 8. You have 555 days credit for time served. That is a total aggregate sentence of life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 22 years.
Sierra Halseth and Aaron Guerrero were both sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 22 years. Take, for example, the case of Daniel Villegas, who was just declared a free man after spending close to 2 decades behind bars for a crime he knew nothing about.
In the District Court of El Paso County, Texas, 409th Judicial District, verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
In 1993, 16-year-old Daniel Villegas was charged with the death of 17-year-old Armando Mondo Lazo and 18-year-old Bobby England. Even though the police found no DNA or forensic evidence connecting him to the crime, they arrested his acquaintances and subjected them to manipulative interrogations. But that was just the beginning. They eventually forced Villegas to sign a confession they had typed out for him, admitting he committed the crime. In October 2018, Villegas got a chance to appeal his case. After a deliberation that lasted 2 days, The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals found Villegas innocent and overturned his conviction. Daniel Villegas' emotional reaction to the freedom verdict after spending 18 years behind bars would become one of the most viewed court moments.
In the District Court of El Paso County, Texas, 409th Judicial District, verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
It was such an emotional moment that the families and friends of Daniel Villegas couldn't control their tears in the courtroom.
And is it a unanimous? Does anybody wish to have the jury polled? There has been a request that the jury be polled so that I can ensure that it is your individual verdicts.
In the courtroom was Daniel Villegas' daughter, who wore a top to show solidarity for her dad. His wife could not hold back tears as the judge thanked the jury for ensuring an innocent man got freedom.
On behalf of the state of Texas, on behalf of the attorneys for the accused, on behalf of the accused, on behalf of my staff, but most importantly, on behalf of your system of justice, thank you for admirably carrying out your civic duty to this great country. You are excused from further jury service. For those who are there, I will be back there shortly.
All right.
After declaring the jury's verdict, the judge declared Daniel Villegas a free man.
Mr. Villegas, you have been under many conditions in this court. You are no longer under any conditions in this court. You are free to leave. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.